Ladies and gentlemen, the Nintendo Switch is home to so many amazing games. But one area where the console shines is in indie games. And I think that indie games are one of the major reasons why the Switch is so popular. So in this video, I'm going to go over what I think are the top 25 indie games on the Nintendo Switch. Let's go and get right into the video. So I could have easily made this a top 100 list, because there are so many great indie games on the Switch. But I don't have that much time, so the top 25 is going to have to do. Before we get started, if you could hit a like and subscribe, it would truly mean the world to me. And let's get into what I think are the top 25 indie games on the Nintendo Switch. So let's start off this list with Dead Cells. Experience Roguevania, mixing an interconnected world, branching paths with a constant adrenaline pumping threat of permadeath. No checkpoints. You either vanquish the final boss in one go, or you try again. This is a game that you could, in theory, legit play forever, and I'm here to tell you there's a lot of people that are doing just that. It is not a strange occurrence to find people who have 200 plus hours in this game, and for good reason. So this was a great way to start off this video. So a game I am currently playing right now is Hollow Knight, and this is one of my favorite games of all time. I'm actually playing Hollow Knight for the second time, and playing through it for the second time, I feel like I didn't even play it the first time. And what I mean by that is I have experienced and found so many different things that I'd never seen the first playthrough, and it makes me feel like I'm playing an entirely new game. This game is so damn special. Like, yes, we're all waiting for Hollow Knight Silksong, but I have no problem waiting even another year or two because I know it's going to be a perfect masterpiece when it comes out. This game is very unforgiving and very challenging, but in the same sentence, it's very rewarding. You're encouraged to get better, and you're encouraged to explore. Not only is Hollow Knight an amazing indie game, this is just one of the greatest video games of all time. Now let's talk about the Ori series, because you can't go wrong with either game. These games look so freaking good, no matter where you get to play them. Even on the Switch, which is the least powerful console out of the big three, this game still runs and looks amazing. This is one of those series, as you play it and you really start getting into it, you really start feeling different emotions as you play. I could go on and on about this series, and for good reason. Definitely check out the Ori series. So a game that legit feels like it came out of nowhere is Hades. And I'll admit, I held off for playing this game for as long as possible. I'm one of those people, when a bunch of people tell me like, hey, you should play this, you're gonna like it. Everybody likes it. I'm like, I'll get to it when I get to it. But eventually I did get around to playing this game, and everybody was right. This is a game that you're going to be addicted to, and that's a great thing because you're going to die a bunch, and that's the way the game is designed. As you play, you're going to get better, and you're going to figure out how this game is supposed to be played, and you're going to start learning about all of the characters. There is a sequel to Hades, but I don't think it's on consoles just yet, so for the time being, definitely check this one out. So another game that I'm playing every single day and I am currently addicted to, and when I mean addicted, I am truly addicted. I'm talking about Vampire Survivors. First, we have to start with the price of this game. This game is fully priced at $5. On the surface, this game looks very simple, and it kind of is. I mean, you don't really even have to press any buttons. All you do is control which way your character is moving. But some way, somehow, this is one of the most immersive and engaging games I have ever played. I think I read somewhere that the guy who created this game used to work in casinos, so he knows like human behavior and how to keep people engaged, and it really does show. This is a game everybody should check out. Now let's talk about Katana Zero. So even though this is one of the greatest indie games of all time, this is another game that falls into the category of being one of the greatest video games of all time, and for a million reasons. The gameplay is so good. If you get hit one time, you immediately die and have to start over. And at first, I didn't think I was going to like that style of gameplay, but as I played it, I fell in love with it. On top of that, the setting, and the art style, and the aesthetic, and the music, it is all top tier. This is a game that I could talk about for hours, but I don't have that time right now, so just know you should definitely be playing this game. Now let's talk about Celeste. Help Madeline survive her inner demons on her journey to the top of Celeste Mountain. The controls are simple and accessible. Simply jump, air dash, and climb, but with layers of expressive depth to master, where every death is a lesson. Lightning fast respawns keep you climbing as you uncover the mysteries of the mountain and brave its many perils. Whenever you think about great indie games, this is one that immediately comes to mind, and it easily earned a spot on this list. Another great indie game is The Messenger. As a demon army besieges his village, a young ninja ventures through a cursed world to deliver a scroll paramount to his clan's survival. What begins as a classic action platformer soon unravels into an expansive time-traveling adventure full of thrills, surprises, and humor. So I actually just purchased this game recently on an eShop sale, and I've probably played 3 or 4 hours of it, and just in those 3 or 4 hours I was like, yep, this is easily one of the best indie games of all time. And it's one of those games where every single second that you're playing it, you just have a huge smile on your face because it's so damn good. So if you're looking for a great indie game, look no further than this. Now let's talk about Sea of Stars. And I'm not sure which way it is, but this game is either a sequel or a prequel to The Messenger. I beat this game a few months ago, and it is easily one of my favorite RPGs I have ever played. The story isn't the deepest and biggest story, but what it is a classic RPG adventure, and from start to finish, I loved every second of this game. Also, the colors and the art style they went with looks so damn good on my Switch OLED. So if you're looking for a super fun RPG that you're gonna enjoy every single minute of it, then Sea of Stars is definitely that game. Now let's talk about Cuphead, and I mean, where do I even start with this game? This is one of the biggest indie games that came out in the last decade, and even though I've owned this game for a few years, I have still not beat this game because it is so freaking hard. But that's the way this game is designed, and that's what's so rewarding about it. Because when you beat a level or you beat a really hard boss, you feel like you just accomplished something major. And you kind of did. I mean, I probably don't need to convince you to play Cuphead, but for the sake of this video, yeah, you should definitely check this one out. Now let's talk about one of the most popular indie games of all time, and I'm talking about Stardew Valley. This is another one of those games that in theory, you could play forever, and I can attest to that. I have been playing Stardew Valley periodically for like the past 3 or 4 years, and it's a game I still jump into at least a few times a month. This game really has it all. Like, it has the farming aspect, you can go out and explore and fight monsters, you can build relationships with the people in the town, and it's a game that really sucks you in, so it easily earned a spot on this list. One of my personal favorite indie games of all time is Yoku's Island Express. Essentially what this is a classic Metroidvania, but just a little different. Use a unique blend of pinball mechanics, platforming, and open world exploration to unlock the secrets of the island, help the locals, awaken ancient deities, and much, much more. And a great thing about this game is it goes on sale almost every single eShop sale, so I would definitely check this one out. So one of my favorite indie games of all time is also a Nintendo Switch game that I don't think I could live without, and I'm talking about Cult of the Lamb. I actually finished this game about a month ago, and I think I beat the entire game in a week. It was a definition of addicting, because it has so many great things going for it. Like, you need to go out and battle monsters and gather resources, and then you need to get those resources and come back and build your community and run your cult. This is another game that I legit could talk about for hours because I loved every single second of this game. Recently they released a new update to where you can play it co-op now, and I think that's a great addition to it. So if you ever get a chance, definitely check out Cult of the Lamb. Now let's talk about Tunic, and it is very easy to see that this game was inspired by the Legend of Zelda series. If you never played this game and you judged it strictly off the art style or the graphics, you would probably think, it's probably a nice, cozy, relaxing game. But that couldn't be further from the truth. This game is super challenging at times, but in my opinion, that's one of the things that makes it so great. I don't want to spoil too much here because going in blind and figuring everything out is a big part of the adventure, but just know if you get the chance, you should be playing this. Now let's talk about Curse to Golf, which is probably my favorite sports game of all time. And I mean, technically it's a sports game because you're playing golf, but it's a lot more than that. This is one of the hardest damn games I have ever played, and I'll be honest, I have still never beat this game. You're a golfer who is sent to purgatory, and the way you get out is by golfing, and you need to make it through 18 levels or 18 holes. Every time you beat a hole, it gets a little bit harder, but if you lose on any hole at any time, you're sent right back to the beginning. Now a great thing is the levels are procedurally generated, so you'll never play the same level twice, and there's a bunch of power-ups and secret abilities and extra stuff, so all of that being said, this is a must-play game. Keeping with the theme of golfing, another amazing indie game you should check out is Golf Story. Play the story of a golfer who is forced to give up all he holds dear for one last shot at accomplishing his dreams. But all is not so simple in the world of golf. To best today's players, you have to be able to keep up with them both on and off the course. Not only is this a super fun golf game, but this is an amazing RPG. I would argue this is in like the top 10 or 15 RPGs on the Switch. Oh yeah, and it's a great indie game, that's why it's in this video. Now let's talk about a game called Dredge. Captain your fishing trawler to explore a collection of remote islands and their surrounding depths to see what lies below. Sell your catch to the locals and complete quests to learn more about each area's troubled past. Outfit your boat with better equipment to trawl deep sea trenches and navigate the far off lands, but you need to keep an eye on the time. This game has a lot of different things going for it, but all of them mash so well together that it makes for a great adventure. Definitely check out Dredge. Now let's talk about one of the most polarizing indie games of all time, and I'm talking about Undertale. Fall into the underworld and explore a hilarious and heartwarming world full of dangerous monsters, date a skeleton, dance with a robot, cook with a fishwoman, or destroy everyone where they stand. The future is yours to determine. This game truly is a masterpiece, and it has a lot of fans. Some of those fans are what we would call die-hard fans, and this game completely took over the world when it came out. Even though the gameplay and the graphics look pretty simple, this game has a lot of depth. Definitely check out Undertale. So another special indie game that's on the Nintendo Switch is Owlboy. Owlboy is a story-driven platform adventure game where you can fly and explore a brand new island in the clouds, pick up your friends, and bring them with you as you explore the open skies. Being mute, Oda struggles living up to the expectations of owlhood. Things spiral from bad to worse with the sudden appearances of sky pirates. What follows is a journey through monster-infested ruins, with unexpected encounters, well-kept secrets, and burdens no one should have to bear. This is a game that really invokes a lot of emotions when you play it, and in my opinion, it is a must-play game. Now let's talk about Neon White. Neon White is a lightning-fast first-person action game about exterminating demons in heaven. You are White, an assassin handpicked from hell to compete with other demon slayers for a chance to live permanently in heaven. The other assassins seem familiar though. Did you know them in your past life? I'll admit the gameplay can take a little bit to get used to, but once you do, this is a game you're not going to want to put down. It's a little different, but I appreciate it for that, so I would definitely check out Neon White. Now let's talk about Guacamelee 2. Guacamelee 2 is essentially, I guess, a 2D platformer or a Metroidvania. I kinda get confused with both categories. Regardless of what it is, this is such a damn fun game, and it looks so good. Whenever people talk about the best looking Switch games, this is a game that never comes up in that conversation. But whenever I play this on my Switch OLED, I am truly in awe of the graphics. They look like they're just popping right out of the screen. On top of that, the gameplay is so damn fun. You're a luchador, so you can beat up a bunch of enemies using wrestling moves, and to put it simply, this game is a treat. Now let's talk about a short hike. I recently made a video a few weeks ago about cozy and relaxing Switch games, and this game was in that video. This is a game you can beat in a few days, and it's almost like therapy. Like if you had a rough week, play this at the end of the week, and it almost gives you a reset. What you're doing is essentially what the title says. It's a short hike. You're going to explore this island and just kind of search around, and in doing that, it kind of helps you reflect. This is a game that I hope everybody gets to experience. The next game we're talking about today is Cave Story. On the Switch, I think it's technically called Cave Story Plus, but it's Cave Story. You understand what's going on here. A young amnesic hero discovers a hidden land and vows to protect the defenseless creatures who live there. Can he stop the mad doctor and learn the truth about his own past? So I'm not sure when Cave Story was first released, but I want to say it's been out for almost like a decade, if not longer. And this game is really special. There are certain games that are going to stand the test of time simply because of how good they are, and this is one of those games. Like I could see people easily playing this game for the next 20 or 30 years because it's just that good. Now let's talk about Blasphemous. And for the sake of this video, we'll just include both games because you can't go wrong with either one. These games, in my opinion, are works of art. Whenever I talk about these games, I like to mention that they are the games that remind me the most of Hollow Knight. Like, not the gameplay and the graphics, but whenever I play them, I get that same feeling. Like you're exploring and the games are super freaking hard, but whenever you defeat a new boss or find a new area, you just feel good about yourself. Also, just to add on top of everything, this game has some of the most cool and badass bosses I have ever seen. Definitely check out the Blasphemous series. And the last game we're talking about today is one of the best indie games I've ever experienced, and I'm talking about Road 96. In this game, what you're trying to do is escape from one country to another because in your country there's political unrest, and what you need to do is try to get your character across the border. And as you do that, you'll meet people along the way, and you have like real choices to make. And then once you get across the border, you'll play as another person. And whatever you did in that first playthrough, like maybe you hitched a ride and went from here to there with somebody, when you come through on that next playthrough, those people might still be in that same spot that you hitched a ride to, so they could help you out. Or vice versa. Maybe you did something in the first playthrough that will mess you up in the next playthrough. This game is very special and very charming, and it actually has a pretty deep message as you play it. There is a sequel to this game. To be honest, I didn't enjoy that one that much, but this one right here is a masterpiece. I truly love this game. Ladies and gentlemen, like I said, I easily could have made a top 100 video, but I just don't have the time right now. But for the time being, here's the top 25 indie games in my opinion. And that's always what's great about these videos. This was my opinion. So in the comments below, let me know your favorite indie games because I'm sure a lot of them didn't make this list. If you've made it this far, follow me on Instagram because I would really appreciate that. And hit a like and subscribe if you could. And you guys know me, I will see you soon with a new video. Peace out.